Today I'm going to do a brief tutorial about the oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. So let's say if we did an ABG, right? We had a patient that was in respiratory stress, we did an ABG. So we see that the pH is 7.25. The normal values are here in the bracket. So the normal value should be 7.35 to 7.45. So this is low, so it's on the acid side, right? The CO2 is 55. It's on the high side because normally it's supposed to be 35 to 45. So we're looking at respiratory acidosis. The PaO2 is 79. It should be between 80 to 100, so that's low. Now the bicarbonate level is 19. That's low because it should be between 22 and 26. The bicarbonate is going to let us know if it's metabolic or not. So it proves that this is metabolic acidosis because this is below 22. So to do a brief review, carbonic acid, H2CO3, is a weak acid. It's broken down into water and CO2. This is if the lungs are functioning adequately and if the kidneys are working, right? So most likely the respiratory system is failing here, all right? And the kidneys take a while to work. So what do? Well, normally we say we'll give sodium bicarb, right, to neutralize, right, the acid. Okay, so once we give it, this is broken down into three components: sodium, the hydroxyl group, which is our base, and the CO2, which is going to be contribute to more acid. So in the blood, we already have hydrogen, that's formed freely, and we have what? We have chlorine. So you saw me pointing down to the sodium and the hydroxyl group. The reason why I'm doing that is to show you the hydrogen will bond with the hydroxyl group, which is our base, and make water, right? So this is going to form a hydrogen bond. We need energy to break this. So now our base is gone, all right? Because once it bonded with the hydrogen, that's it, it's gone now. So now the chloride will bond with the sodium to make an ionic bond. We need energy to break that. We don't have this energy at this time to break that bond. So now what we did, we caused another problem. We caused this CO2 now to do what? Find more CO2. So what we're building here is lactic acid. Okay? So instead of helping the problem, we just proved we hurt the patient more. We created another problem. So what this states now, is this is a condition that's called Bohr effect. Okay. So in the presence of a low pH, elevated PCO2, now the temperature goes up. Why? Because of homeostasis. The body will increase, will work harder now to try to balance itself, to go back into a neutral state. So by using this energy, we're increasing our temperature. So Bohr effect states hemoglobin's affinity or attractiveness for oxygen, it will increase. So what does this mean? So by us giving the sodium bicarb and we're creating lactic acidosis, Bohr effect, what's going on is that the hemoglobin will pick up oxygen and it will go back to the cellular level, right, to that cell, and it will not release it so the cell can get the oxygen, all right? So we can create an anaerobic atmosphere, all right? So it will bind to it. So if the cell can't get the oxygen, the cell will die. And that's what we mean by lactic acidosis, all right, by creating them. So what we do to stop this from occurring, instead of giving a sodium bicarb, there's one thing we can do. We could simply give positive pressure ventilation. Use a BVM and bag the patient. Bag valve mask is a BVM. We use it and we bag it. If that is not working, then we can then go to using BiPAP, right, continuous airway pressure, or we can use CPAP, which is continuous airway pressure. Now I know I said BiPAP, continuous airway pressure, but continuous airway pressure is the CPAP. Okay, so we can use BiPAP or CPAP. If that's not working, then we just intubate the patient. All right, I know I'm a little tired, but to give you a recap of this, so instead of giving sodium bicarb to a patient that's metabolic acidotic, right, or acidosis, we give positive pressure ventilation, BiPAP, CPAP, continuous airway pressure, or if that doesn't work, we intubate the patient. This will help, and this is the only real treatment for right-sided shift. Okay? This is the best treatment for right-sided shift. If we had a left-sided shift, they can rebreathe into a paper bag. But for a right-sided shift, the best thing you can ever do is give the patient oxygen, BiPAP, or continuous airway pressure, or intubate the patient. All right? Thank you.